Welcome to Topster Moon, where we talk about topsters now.
I still don't know what a topster is. Oh, wait. Yes, I do.
Peter, you said you're eating ramen?
Yes, and soft-boiled egg.
Based.
Yep.
That's
Nice.
the dinner
I'm having
of
some bulgogi.
champions.
Or not bulgogi.
Hell yeah.
Bibimbap. Bibimbap.
Had
Oh,
like
bibimbap's
my,
delicious.
my
Yo,
mom made
nerds.
this like taco pasta and it was really good.
Nerds, how we
Yeah.
feeling today? Joel, welcome to Prison Moon. You're incarcerated now.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I am trapped.
This is Joel's.
I have been arrested.
This is like, besides one or two cameos where he like leaves a second after I start the podcast, this is Joel's first appearance on the Prison Moon podcast.
It was supposed to be last week, but school had me dead inside and outside.
It's like that
As it does.
sometimes. But you're here for the bigger
For-
album.
Run the Jewels too. I was gonna say I'm here for the album where they like really come into their own.
Yeah. So,
And they get rid of Prince Paul on the features.
so I think,
Re-
Joel, introduce yourself lightly. Like, just like, give me.
I'm a mid-20s film student who likes the music and has a record collection that has everything from
Every Run
Charlie
the Jewels
XCX
album.
to Code Orange to the entire Run the Jewels discography. Almost done Nine Inch Nails, Deftones, and Queens of the Stone Age. Yeah,
And he likes music.
I like the music.
Yeah, so the way we tend to do this, Joel, you've never listened to an episode of Prison Moon,
No,
have
I
you?
have.
Oh,
I've
you
listened to
have.
a few.
Okay, so you know how we structure these, right? The
Yeah,
more
I-
recent ones. Okay.
Generally speaking, I think maybe not, as I know I've listened to like some of the earlier ones. I listened to like most of the Death Grips ones.
Oh, we
just
structure
trying
them
to
a little
remember
different
now.
now.
Yeah, okay. So you're gonna have to go over it.
Well, basically, just like we still go in the order of Wyatt, Peter,
I
me.
miss the old Prison Moon. Talk about Death Grips for 3 hours, Prison Moon.
So yeah, Joel, we're probably gonna slot you in between Wyatt and Peter. Sound good?
Sounds good.
And then we're just gonna do like we talk about, instead of track by track, we do a bunch of segments, and then we like talk about tracks that we want to talk about afterwards.
It's good.
And yeah. So, Wyatt, tell me your thoughts on this album.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do it.
Well, I have a question for the class.
Okay,
and
you're
I
a
hope
little
you all
quiet.
have the answer, but I'm a little quiet. Hello.
Ooh, yeah, now you're good.
How am I now?
Good.
You're
Can
good
you hear
now.
me?
Wyatt.
We can actually
Alright.
hear you now.
So I have a question for the class. Are you all ready?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yep.
I thought
Are
I
you
was
ready?
done with school.
All right. What's poppin'?
Run the
What is
jewels.
poppin'?
This album is popping.
Can you give me an answer here?
Run the jewels.
Oh,
Run the jewels. Yes.
Is the,
Run the
is the
Jewels.
answer.
Correct.
That's
Correct
the answer.
That's how I feel.
That's how you feel?
Yep.
Elaborate on that.
Yeah, I can elaborate on that.
I
I
was
thought you were
fully
gonna do
expecting
the-
a David Lynch response there.
That would have been good. Yeah, this album is awesome. You know, it's absolutely everything the first one was, but improved and done better, and with less of that weird dude from the first album.
And by less, you
So,
mean none.
For all of those reasons, extremely high marks. None, yes. The most less you can get. But yeah, this is just a really dope album. We'll get more into detail as we progress through this podcast, as is our format.
Hell yeah. Joel, tell me what you think about Run the Jewels 2.
I love this album, and it's funny because when I first listened to it back, probably around the time it came out, this was actually my least favorite Run the Jewels album.
Damn.
Yeah, it was funny because it was just the one I couldn't get into, and I think it's up there in my favorites now. Both Run the Jewels wise and just all time. Um, it's basically a more refined version of the first one. It cuts a lot of the crap, but it gets angrier. I think is what I like most about it, is that it's when they really start to kind of get into those political themes that they kind of started getting into on the first one, but like didn't do like a full album of. Like 3 I think is still their most political. That's a talk for next week, but I don't know. I think 2 is just like when they really started getting fired up. It's when they started kind of getting an idea of what they really wanted to do with this project. Yeah, and also I think it's probably like in terms of sound and production, I would say it's probably their most experimental. It's the one I think that caught me off guard most, and how much it has the sound of the other albums, but it's a different sound still, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So
It will not make sense to Peter or Wyatt, who have only heard Run the Jewels 1 up to this point.
oh really?
Yeah,
Damn.
we're doing
You guys
like
are in-
neither of them have heard any Run the Jewels.
Oh, y'all are in for a treat.
I mean, I've heard the first 2.
Well, yes.
Yeah,
Now,
it only gets weirder from here. I'll just leave
And
it at that.
I've heard of Run the Jewels instrumentals.
wait, did you actually? Oh, I forgot to listen
I
to
heard
the
a
other
Run the Jewels feature.
Did you hear the feature on the Venom movie?
No, I've not seen the Venom movie. I refuse to.
No,
Yeah, I
I
was
heard the
gonna say,
feature
just don't.
on a Mike Snow track.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Mike Snow track. It's great.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
So
yeah,
good
yeah,
on there.
I've heard that.
I remember when they used that in
Yeah, it's a good
the Luke Cage.
I think that is how Wyatt heard Run the Jewels first.
Actually, I'm
I
pretty
did.
sure
That is where I heard it.
my
Yeah.
intro to Run the
Oh.
Jewels, I'm pretty sure was actually
Mhm.
wasn't the Black. It might have. I think I was aware of them, and then the Black Panther trailer hit, and I was like, oh hey, I remember these guys. I should like look into them more. And then I'm obsessed.
Hell yeah. Peter, what do you think about this album?
I think it's a pretty great album.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do.
Tell me about it.
It's got a couple of musicians. Cover's got a couple of hands.
Yeah?
They're doing some things.
How do you
They're,
feel about those hands? Take a look at these hands.
Yeah.
They're passing in between us.
Well, I mean, all the Run the Jewels albums, they've got these 2 hands in the same position, but they're like, colored differently, or like wrapped differently, or they're slightly different in some ways. So Run the Jewels, the first one, is these zombie hands. One of them's like in the shape of a gun. One of them's holding some jewels, I guess. This one is mummies. They're wrapped in bandages. You can still tell they're dead. There's some dead hands. There's some bones sticking out. But they're mummified. And of course the background is switched from black to red. So Joel was saying this one's more political, more angry. You can definitely hear that right off the bat. They've also like polished up their production by a degree, which was my favorite part of the first album. So that was welcome. Appreciated that. Yeah, they have like they walk the line really well between like hardcore hip hop and more like experimental. Like they don't go too crazy, but they're messing around with those beats a little bit. There are even a couple moments that reminded me of like first half of Powers That Be with the
Powers
way they
that
use
beat.
those vocal samplings. Um, Specifically, "Oh My Darling, Don't Cry."
Yeah.
I think you know what I'm talking about.
Darling, darling, darling,
Yeah.
darling.
Um, but yeah, and then obviously they just get really um angry, in your face, accusatory. They've got a lot of a lot of references thrown in there. Um, but yeah, I think it's a bit less silly than the first album, and they are leaning more into like the political side of things. Um, which is not a bad thing. I think they're honing their craft, and this is easily the better record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I messaged Peter a couple days ago and I was like I still am excited. I was gonna say I'm excited to see Wyatt's reaction to this because he rated it so positively last time, and I said I don't think I can imagine someone preferring the first album to this one. And like that's maybe a little bit hyperbolic, but not
Hey, what
much.
did I give the first one?
Strong 9.
Strong 9? Okay. Interesting. That's tough.
But yeah, like I genuinely like by every single metric, I think this is the better album. Um, and one thing that we mentioned a little bit last time is there was a little bit of a disparity in like kind of just talent and maturity on the mic between Killer Mike and LP. But I think here they bridge that gap perfectly, and it is pretty much completely balanced the whole way through. He LP's really come into his own, and just feels like a much more developed and mature lyric writer and storyteller. And he also does some really cool stuff with his flow that we'll talk about in a bit. But yeah, I this thing is hard as hell. Um, yeah. So let's talk about an element of this record, shall we? Wyatt, tell me about some of the beats on this record. You got any beat thoughts?
Yeah, so speaking of beats and speaking of hard as hell, I'm gonna just go right out here and say that the opening track on this album is, I think, one of the hardest tracks I've ever heard.
Really?
This is a good fucking track. This opener, Jeopardy. Yeah, I love this track. This is and like I don't know how much of this was my first time listening, because on repeat listens I don't quite experience it the same way each time. But when I was first listening to Jeopardy, on my very first listen, I was just really blown away by it, and like how aggressive and intense like the delivery between Killer Mike and LP is. It's real pog stuff.
Real pog stuff.
But yeah, real pog stuff. Um, Beyond that though, I think I forget who exactly has referenced it, but like there's definitely like a noticeable kind of like an expanded vocabulary, I guess, of production on this album. You do have kind of a more diverse use of samples and sounds and stuff that I thought really made a lot of the tracks on here unique from each other and stand out in a nice way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I can say that, but weirdly enough, like I can't necessarily identify you like what each individual track sounds like, even though I didn't at any point feel as though like these tracks sound samey, you know? And I think that's just because I've only listened through the album about 3 times total, I think. So maybe as I get more familiar with it, that will change. But yeah, at this point, I find it to be very like eclectic in a good way, where you just have a nice like arrangement of unique sounds track to track.
Yeah. Joel, you got any beat thoughts? You thinking about
No.
beats?
I think I don't know. This album's just bassy. This is my favorite album to just crank my subwoofer with. Uh, it's just, how do I put it? It's got like, I'm like terrible with this because I don't know music theory like y'all do, or really like what
Oh,
elements to pick
none
apart
of us
here.
know music theory. I'm probably the
Okay, but
closest one to knowing music
I
theory,
don't
and I
know
don't
anything
know.
about music.
I don't know.
Yeah, Wyatt knows
Um,
nothing.
Or even just like, because not that when I listen to songs I listen to them as like a whole only, but like I just think this album is a lot tighter, definitely in terms of diversity of beats, but also like in the diversity of sound between them. Like, yeah, you have that industrial sound the entire way through, that like aggressive, abrasive, like almost like they're purposely pushing stuff to the point of breaking and getting that sound out of it. Um, as Peter said, I really like the vocal sampling throughout it. Close your eyes and count to fuck. Just like song goes hard. You just listen to it and you just want to, rock out. Um, also Love Again. Love Again has like just a really weird how do I say it? It's almost like a hypnotic beat to it.
Yeah, very woozy.
Yeah, and that's the like you listen to that and you feel like you're on like a drug trip. And I love that about it. I love though that you get that along with those that like, oh my darling, don't cry. It's just like all bass almost. Like it's hilarious listening to that song at 2 a.m. when you're high because you're just absolutely how do I say it? It almost like drowns you in the beat. It's just it's great, phenomenal.
Yeah. Peter, you got any beat thoughts?
I got a couple, yeah.
Think about them beats.
So I think I said earlier that like some of it was like almost like Death Grips beats. On second thought, I think it might be closer to like Yeezus type stuff.
Yeah, that like a dirty synth kind of thing, right?
Yeah, the dirty synth and like the like slight industrial flavor that Joel was talking about. Um, but they're not afraid to like move out of that. And there's like some trap beats that show up at some points. There's some almost like trip hop type stuff. Um, on like Light Cheat Steel. Um, very bassy. And also just the instruments they sample, or I'm not sure if they actually sample them or they got people to play them.
Depends on the track.
Depends on the track, yeah, because there are some horns that show up. There's some guitars that show up.
Travis Barker
Um,
does a full drum feature, like he does all the drums on All Due Respect.
oh shit, okay. Um, but yeah, I think that definitely gives it like a fuller sound. Um, and also kind of makes it so that you don't know what to expect next, because it could really throw anything in there. Um, yeah, it's like a really dynamic sound. It's like really fresh, but it's also like drawing on all these different past influences, which I really respect. Um, yeah, so definitely like much tighter production and than the first one. You can tell LP's really stepping it up. You mentioned vocally, but I think production wise too, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like I think if I hadn't um listened to the first one first, I might not have been as impressed by it. Because this is like a notch way up, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think like everything you learned on the first one, and just pushes it to 11. Everything is just dirtier, more aggressive, and more intricate and more dynamic for sure. Like you were saying, start sampling more instruments, the sax and the clean guitar on the opener. Lots of jazz instrumentation on the closer. The synths are a lot
The,
more unique.
you have something like Crown on there too, where it's just kind of it's a lot more mellow compared to literally all of this, all these deep, all these really bassy tracks and all
Yeah.
these really layered, I guess would be the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But then you just kind of get that simple like the dun 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 of Crown, along with like that chill, slower atmosphere to it. It's just it's yeah.
Yeah, there's some good beats. There's the really airy sounding one you were talking about on Oh My Darling. That sound after, like, you start with that vocal sample, but like the sound of the beat after is wild. And like especially on headphones where you can get that like that stereo sound to that noise, it's so cool. There's like these old school kind of bloopy arpeggios on Lie Cheat Steal. And even when it's using the same kinds of sounds as on one, it just hits a lot harder with much more intricate beats. I think about the ping pong table hits on Blockbuster Night 1, and the, like you were saying, the relaxed and woozy beat on Love Again. Yeah, just all this good shit. The same stuff I said last week is just like done way better here, I think. Yeah, what about, so we're not going to talk about lyrics until we get to track by track, because I think that just works better. But Wyatt, what do you think about Killer Mike on this album otherwise?
Killer Mike really brings like a greater like weight to him, I think, on this album.
Wow, that's
He's
insensitive.
kind of more serious this time around, I feel, overall. What? Oh, no, that's not what I meant. Come on. He has more gravity. What do you want me to say? No, but no, he's
I'm sorry.
yeah, there's just like a seriousness. No, it's okay. There's just like a more profound like aggression and like seriousness that he brings to the mic. That Mike brings to the mic, I suppose. That is like kind of teased on the first album, but not like super explicit very often. And you know, it's by no means is that his tone throughout this entire album, but there's it's much more consistently that here, I think. And I think it brings a kind of emotional fullness to the album that the first maybe doesn't quite capture as well. But it's yeah, it's still it's good, you know. I still very much enjoy like Killer Mike's performance on the original album, and I think he is just as good here, but going for a very different direction with his performance, and I think he succeeds with it.
Yeah, we don't get like a job well done on here, but like that's not what this album is. Job well done being the grimy track, if you forget. Joel, tell me about Killer Mike.
I think the main reason this album is angrier is definitely because of him. And I also think this is kind of the album where, like, once again, like I said, they really come into their own, but I think it's because they know now they were more comfortable with each other. And Mike, well, they kind of knew that if they really wanted to get this off the ground, they had to have like a back and, not to say LP isn't as serious about these issues in real life, but like on the albums, he always plays as kind of the foil to Mike, I find. And this is the album I think where they really like nailed that dynamic down. And going forward, it only got better. But yeah, that's kind of the thing when I go back and listen to the first one that I feel is missing, where you don't have that back and forth between one being serious and one being kind of comedic to some degree, I guess. But yeah, Mike's angrier and Al's there to back him up, but also to give us a laugh.
Yeah. Peter, who
He
is
killed
Killer
it.
Mike? Wow. Wow. All right, that's a podcast.
Yeah, I I don't have too much to add. I think Wyatt and Joel pretty much hit the nail on the head there. I think it is worth noting though, how like rapid fire some of his lines are, and one of my favorite tracks, Light Cheat Steel, which I'm sure we'll talk about later.
Oh yeah.
Um, but yeah, the Killer Mike verse in that, when he's saying like who really fund this, just like
Yeah.
that right until the end of his verse is um, just like the way he spits is almost like machine gun fire, and I think that adds like so much, um, like the intensity and the velocity makes these like political messages hit so much harder, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Killer Mike is pretty similar to last week. Just amazing and one of the best MCs out there. That energy is all here. He doesn't get as grimy as on that one track last time, but his overall aggression is still constantly present. Like on All Due Respect and Close Your Eyes. He also has some really cool, more chill segments, like the really relaxed. I really like his relaxed pronunciation that he starts on All My Life. Speaking of machine gun fire, I really like how he sounds like he's like holding back laughter. He's going pow 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 pow. It's real good. And yeah, and that almost like encouraging tone on Love Again. We'll talk about early later for sure. But it that that verse is rough. And that's not the last time we'll hear that kind of thing. Yeah, like overall the improvement for Killer Mike is pretty slight. But he was already like easily one of the best parts of the last record. So like no complaints here. What about LP, Wyatt? What?
Yeah. Speaking of improvement,
Yeah.
hello.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. LP really comes into his own on this album. Hello.
We can still hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
All the issues are on your
Yes.
end.
Yes.
Just keep talking.
Okay. Am I okay? Oh. Oh. Okay. I'm hearing the two of you be like, "Oh, hello." Okay. I guess
Oh,
that's mine. Anyway.
I think you're hearing us late. That's
yeah.
weird.
Yeah. LP is maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, that's fun. So yeah, LP is definitely the most improved on this album. Very much has just like it seems more like more energy and kind of more passion about it, and maybe just more confidence overall is the situation. Where like I don't know, I don't know exactly how to describe it, but definitely just like on the ball more and much more like in their element and seemingly more comfortable and a much better compliment to Killer Mike. Not that the two of them didn't work together before, they very much did, but I think now like I think it was Joel who said that like the two of them are like just have gotten more comfortable with each other and I think able to be a little more expressive and a little more like energetic, I guess. Um, so I where LP was kind of like the break from on the first album. On this one, the two are very much like the headliners in equal measure, and but still with a very distinctive style that I think makes them both equally engaging to. Yeah.
Yeah. Joel, you got something to add?
Yeah, I mean, I really like LP's solo stuff as well. And it was something I actually started listening to after Run the Jewels. But I think it's funny because now that I'm really examining it, I think a big part of it was that he was so used to working alone that like he didn't really know how to direct that same energy into a duo. And so a big part of I think his improvement is it was there, but he knows now what Mike has covered and what Mike can do better, and to step back and play to the strengths and like Mike's weaknesses. Not that they necessarily are weaknesses per se, it's just a big part of I think the improvement comes from the fact that they're just a lot more confident with each other on this album.
Yeah, they know what they can't do, and they know what the other person can do, kind of thing, and what they know what each person can and can't do. Joel.
He's gone.
Yeah, that was all I had to say. Sorry.
Oh, he's back.
All right. Well then, Peter, how about you?
Um, yeah, they've definitely like figured out their formula and their strengths, and I think like yeah, we're on the first album. LP was maybe not like quite a Killer Mike's level, and was kind of like almost
Kind of playing backup.
yeah, kind of playing backup, or kind of like like the palate cleanser if like Mike was getting too intense or something. I think LP here is like um his bars and his delivery are just as good, but he doesn't have that that like rapid fire I was talking about. So I think the palate cleansing is more like a it's more rhythmic than on the first album. Where like LP's is more like smooth, and he like um
For the most part.
for the most part, and he like accentuates like certain syllables more. Um
He's got a
but I think
very distinct style, yeah.
yeah, so I think that's his way of making his lyrics stick, whereas Killer Mike's is more about um like rat-a-tat type of stuff.
Mm,
If that makes any sense.
yeah. And kind of building off what you're saying there, I think the other thing with this dynamic is, or like the dynamic that they've kind of solidified on this record, is that Killer Mike is making a lot, like the appeal to Killer Mike's verses and his delivery and stuff is a lot more emotional, whereas like LP's got the lyrics to, like LP's lyrics and his wordplay and all of that is what engages you there. So it's less of a palate cleanser and more a different style, right? But yeah, a huge improvement over last time. Already, like, top of his game on production last time, and this time, of course. But, like, here, he is constantly rivaling Mike, and even on tracks where, like, Mike's got some of his best verses, it's still hard to pick a favorite, because LP is just constantly not upping him, but just like staying exactly on that level and pushing everything forward. Yeah, he's got the energy, the lyrical chops to match at all times. He still sounds like kind of cool and laid back a lot of the time, like last time. And his tone is kind of the same as before, still very distinct. but his rhyming is even more on point, and his flow has gotten a lot more dynamic. I think about how ridiculously fast he gets on Lie Cheat Steal, the kind of theatrics with how like in the pocket he's got the beats on Crown and Angel Duster. And yeah, just I don't think anyone quite knows how to rap over an LP beat like LP does. Let's talk real quick about the features. We have no more Prince Paul.
Thank fuck.
Rest in peace, Prince Paul.
Why? Yeah.
I think my favorite thing is that when Nathan and I were talking about Prince Paul, Nathan looked him up and like he did a song on the new SpongeBob movie.
Yeah, we were talking about that last week.
It's just,
Oh.
it's yeah.
The what
Mm.
movie?
Like he wrote a song just for that?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
SpongeBob movie. We talked about this
Yeah.
last week.
Okay. Well, I was maybe high
I think
last week,
it
so-
was 420 when we recorded that.
I was definitely high last week.
Well, Wyatt, y'all got any features you like?
I could not tell you a dang thing about any of the features on this album.
Zach De La Rocha
They have
That-
not stuck in my memory in the
dude.
slightest.
from Rage Against the Machine.
All right, I guess Joel's doing it then. Joel.
I can't believe Wyatt disrespected Zach De La Rocha like that.
De La Rocha.
Zach
De
De
La
La Who?
Roca? De La Roca?
De La Roca.
Rage Against the Machine's lead singer. Mute. Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't obvious from the fact that I just gave Wyatt kind of shit. Just kidding, love you, Wyatt. Yeah, close your eyes, count to fuck. Just you get the angry man from Rage Against the Machine on an angry Run the Jewels track, and you're pretty much guaranteed for a good time. And I mean, there's a reason he's literally been on every Run the Jewels album since then, and I think it's because he's just kind of
Spoilers.
fits in so he fits in so well with them, and it just I love it.
Yeah. Peter, did you catch any other features?
The chorus on Early
Yeah.
was quite smooth, quite earwormy. I enjoyed that. That was by Boots apparently. I'm not
Yeah,
sure exactly who
They
Boots
also
are.
did the one on Lie Cheat Steal.
Oh, they did, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, they're not credited.
Oh,
on
no,
Spotify.
all my life. Sorry, wrong one.
Oh, they're not credited for that either.
No, they're not credited for that for
That-
some
that's
reason.
rude. That's rude, but I like the sound, and I think I kind of assumed it was a sample.
They work really well
Um,
to make samples, right? Like,
Yeah, that's sick actually. Um, yeah, I don't know if I have too much to say about it. Um, it was a beautiful hook, I guess, technically. I would have thought of it as like a chorus. Genius is claiming it's a hook.
They're
But
the
yeah,
same.
it's like really smooth, a little bit eerie. Um, I mean, they're saying get out, get out, get out. Feeling this too early.
feeling this way, feeling this way.
Yeah, so it's got robotic quality to it. But I mean, they're telling you to get out, which is like, oh shit, like something's not right here.
It's true. There
It's
is
true.
something not right happening in that track.
It's true. So it was yeah, it was like a pleasant sound, but like with some dark undertones, which I guess is that balance that RTJ are always trying to strike, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
There were a couple other ones too, right?
yeah.
The other features.
I
Travis Barker.
am That's the drums I was talking about earlier. Those drums are
Right.
wild.
Right. That was a good song for drumming.
um I'm surprised no one's talked about Gangsta Boo yet on Love Again.
Oh yeah, Gangsta Boo.
Yeah, that one, that's a good feature right
It's a
there.
good feature.
Very racy. Very very unapologetic.
She really that whole track really feels like Run the Jewels kind of has three members for that one track. Like they
Yeah, the way she plays off of Mike and Elle's verses are just fantastic.
yeah, like like they it's real good. I forget. I listened to 3 today, but I forget is Gangsta Boo on that one as well? Or is it just 2 and 4?
No, but she's back for 4 because she's
Yeah.
on Walking in the Snow, which is arguably the best track on RTJ4.
Shh, spoilers. Um
Spoilers!
but yeah, no Prince
Well, I
Paul.
might as well just not listen to it. Jeez.
Yeah. Instead, we get awesome
Peter,
feature from
please.
Zach De La Roca. He doesn't sound. Zach De La Roca doesn't sound like Rage Against the Machine here. He sounds a lot more like a quote
I think
unquote
it's De La
rapper.
Rocha actually.
Shut up.
I saw. No, why are you making fun of me? Ooh.
But yeah, no, he sounds a lot more like a rapper than like kind of a vocalist that he does on Rage Against the Machine. And he's does awesome, just on point spitting that anarchist shit. As expected. You already talked about Boots's choruses; they're great. Travis Barker's killer drums. Diane Coffey is a band. Offers backup vocals on Crown. And yeah, that Gangsta Boo feature. Just there's some great shit from the features. But now, let's talk about why we're here. The songs. Did you know that there are songs on this album?
This
Yeah,
is
there's a good
unproven.
dozen.
Hmm?
There's a good dozen of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a bonus one. Depends if you count that.
Right, but I mean, one of the one of the non-bonus tracks is Blockbuster Night Part 1.
Well, do
So
we
I feel
want to
like
talk about Blockbuster Night Part 1?
You kind of need the Part 2 if you have Part.
Well, then talk about Part 1 then.
It's a hard track.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. It's got these kind of like these like dark, ominous synths.
Yeah,
That
that
kind of
really
just driving
simple
away throughout the whole thing.
that like simple 2-note progression, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this was one of the ones that's kind of giving me like some Yeezus vibes
Yeah.
with that kind of just like the way they use synths. What else I gotta say about this?
This is
one?
also where we'll talk about lyrics. So like
They
I'll-
they talk about Philip Seymour Hoffman on this one. Rest in peace.
true. Yeah. This track is like very like braggadocious. They're not getting heavy on this track lyrically. The lyric, "You rappers doo-doo, baby shit, just basic boo-boo."
That's a masterpiece lyric
mean,
right
are
there.
they-
What
are
are you
they
talking
also-
about?
Are they also calling out furries on LP's verse
Where?
on his first verse? You itsy bitsy furry, frightened and frickin' sickly, a little prickly, dick on display for winter swimming.
Damn.
Look at these kitties, Mike. I'm a rat-a-tat-em for a living.
Ooh, and then that next line, the delivery on the ideal and dirty work, do the deed and then ditch him, stuck with me real hard.
Yeah, he's really leaning
Fall
into
back
the
to the casting calls
alliterations
are
here.
ending in semen.
Yeah, so this is like maybe a more a less political and serious track, unless I
Although
was
there, no,
missing
no, no, there's
some
still the lyric
undertones
here.
here.
There's the lyric here. The fellows at the top are likely rapists, but you're like, mellow out, man. Just relax. It's really not that complicated. So there's still like that tone, as always. But yeah, it's just like it goes hard. It's a hard track. Why, you got anything to say about this track that is hard?
I agree that this track is hard, and it is among my favorite tracks on this album for that reason. Although I think, like Peter, I didn't walk away with too much of a like profound reaction to the lyrics of it.
Yeah, I think some other tracks on here kind of
Yeah.
hit harder.
Yeah, and maybe it was just the mindset I was listening to this album in the few times that I have, but I did not quite walk away with struck by like quite as profound of political messaging, you know, and that is almost certainly that I did not have as much time to like really sit down with the lyrics as I had with the previous album. But yeah,
Damn, you coming
overall,
in
like,
unprepared.
yeah, you know, it's been a rough few days.
Damn.
We've been busy out here. But you know, like I said, I already mentioned the first track, which I think is the one that really strikes me the hardest out of the. We got some nice nerdy references here from Killer Mike yet again about Batman chillin'. The villains is here, and that's, you know, that's fun for me.
Yeah,
Um,
that
I
would
just
be.
yeah, just I'm will forever be awestruck with I think LP's line of that opener. That's really strong shit.
Which one? Sorry.
Run the jewels is the answer. Your question is
Oh
what's
yeah.
poppin'. That is the most iconic on the opener, which is just wonderful. In this album immediately with that track and that conclusion of that track.
hmm
And with that, and also in Blockbuster Night, actually, this theme of this album being a bit of a victory lap with the success of From the Jewels 1. I believe on a few tracks they reference how proficient they are at being rappers and the, you know, the success of the album. You know, these are like very general hip hop themes of like success and how much better you are than everyone else and stuff. But in context of such a successful debut, it really does read to me like a celebration of the success that they have project up until this point.
Yeah. Real quick, is Wyatt cutting out on my end or his end?
I think it's just your end. I've
Fuck.
been fine.
It
Damn.
sounds good to me. Yeah.
Weird. It's just Wyatt. I don't know. That's weird. We
Oh.
can still tell what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's just like a syllable every once in a while.
Oh.
Okay.
But yeah. Let's talk about "Oh My Darling, Don't Cry." Who likes that track?
I like that track.
I like that track.
Good.
Starts out as like a N-Words on the Moon track almost.
Yeah.
The way they like chopped up that
Prisoners
sample
on
and like
the Moon.
what's that?
I said prisoners on the moon.
Oh yes, yes. I think if you've been listening to the show, we make you kind of just outed yourself.
Yeah, I know. I'm a fanboy.
Fine.
Damn. Well,
It's a good track though.
Yeah, it is a good track. I what was I gonna say? There was
There's
a
also
lyric that I
I like how ELP like shouts out like some of his favorite rappers too on the first verse. See.
ELP, what, Emerson, Lake, and Palmer?
I think probably my favorite part of "Oh My Darling, Don't Cry" is when LP says, "My business card says you're in luck. I do two things: I rap."
It's really
Next
good.
verse is, "I fucking rap," and it's just like, I don't know. It's stuff like that that it's just great. The bouncing back between them is just, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. But yeah, you were saying like LP shouting to his favorite rappers. Yeah, you get a reference to Doom. You
Id
get
MF Doom.
yeah, you get ATLian, which this is not the last time they'll reference that album, which is strange. Um yeah. Also that beat is like easily a top 3 beat on here. Like no question. No question.
Easily, but we're not talking about beats anymore.
Shut up. Shut
You're not allowed.
up. Shut up. Shut up.
Not allowed.
Send Nathan to beat jail.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Yeah. It goes hard. What about the other one that has a super prominent vocal sample? Close your eyes and count to fuck.
Can someone how to
Huh?
fuck? I don't know how to count to fuck still.
You just say fuck.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Fuck.
Yeah, just that I think is like, if someone's like, what is Run the Jewels? That's the track I'm probably gonna show them.
That
Honestly.
is
Like I think it's got the that underlying rage in it. It's got that sick production.
that
got
underlying rage, huh?
the underlying rage that isn't underlying at all. They're full out just like
No. The underlying rage.
oh, you're terrible. What are you, a dad? Are you Bean Dad?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Sorry. But
Can't
yeah, you're
believe
right.
you. But yeah, I mean, fascist slaves, you protesting to get in a fucking lookbook. Everything I scribble's like the anarchist cookbook. Like, that's great. It's just an insane opening line, and
then the rest of that verse is just like wild.
yeah, he goes off right off the bat. Like Rikers Island.
Dude, that whole no, like just like when you can unite and kill the police motherfuckers or take over a jail, give them CO as hell, the burning of the sulfur, goddamn, I love the smell, blanket to pillow torching, where the fuck the warden, and when you find him, we don't kill him, we just waterboard him.
Yeah,
we
it's just like insane.
We killing them for freedom because they tortured us for boredom, and even if some good ones die, fuck it, the Lord'll sort them. Just that whole verse.
He's
like
he's done. He's done with all the shit.
It's sick as fuck.
Yeah, it's just great. It's
then,
just funny to me because I remember when 4 came out, a lot of people complaining on Instagram were like, it's too political, and I'm like, y'all, go back and listen to RTJ.
What do you mean too political?
Like, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the other one, verse 4, it says here, just the end of that one. The including members of clergy that rule on you through religion, so strip your kids to the nude and then tell them God will forgive them. And then obviously Zach De La Rocha's entire verse is sick as shit. But especially that Well, first of all, he mentions Gotham, Wyatt.
Second of all, he
Well-
mentions Philip K. Dick.
Yeah.
I'm miles ahead of you. You can sip my bitch's brew.
That's true.
So that
Yeah. But then yeah, that last line, the only thing that closed quicker than our caskets be the factories is sick. Yeah. Just amazing song. Any other tracks we want to talk about? I think it's time to talk about Lie, Cheat, Steal.
Gee, yeah, well, yeah.
Why does he
Everybody
pronounce
doing it?
Why does he pronounce cheat like Keat? I can't be the only one that noticed this.
wait, what?
I think it's
Heat?
he not really.
He really is.
I think you are the only one that noticed it because you're the only one
I
that
did not notice
thinks
that.
Yeah, you're losing it. I'm gonna listen to it now and see if it's one of those things where like you don't see it until someone points it out.
Please tell me I'm not the only
No,
one.
I think he's saying lie,
the
cheat,
only one.
steal, kill.
No, but the first where he says
That's why you.
cheat.
That's why you think.
No.
Nah,
I know what I'm
nah,
talking
nah.
about. I know what I'm talking about. Anyways,
Mm.
this song, it has 2 verses. And those 2 verses are cool as hell.
It's because you know what
Yeah.
it is.
Hmm?
It's because of the clap that goes right when he says cheat, and the clap sounds
Oh
like
my
it adds the
God.
like. You're not wrong, but you're wrong.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's a good track. I mean, I think this album is pretty much flawless, so I'm gonna say every track's a good track. But
Whoa, spoilers. But yeah, fuck, LP's verse goes hard as hell. His like delivery there, wild. And then it's that interesting line, death by electrocution is like life in New York.
I was just gonna bring that up.
You know what?
Yeah, that's not wrong. I love New York. I think it's a great city. I love to visit it. I would never live there because it just seems like hell. Like friends of mine who live there or very close. Actually, one of them just moved. She's been living in can't remember if she was downtown or if she was in Queens or what, but she moved like an hour out of the city and she has never been happier in her life.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But yeah, and then of course Killer Mike's verse.
Killer Mike's verse is my favorite on this one.
I think I
Like
think
I think
I
of
might
the
agree.
album even.
I think I might be inclined to agree, or at least like number 2.
I love just like it's just like so quintessential Mike. And I
Yeah.
love Doc necessary. Because when you live on MLK and it gets very scary, you might have to pull your AK, send one to the cemetery. We overworked, underpaid.
Yeah. He starts off
facts.
this verse. His verse starts out sounding. He sounds like for a second I thought they got 2 Chainz on here. He
yeah,
sounds
there's
like
like that split part right at the beginning where it almost doesn't
Yeah.
sound like them at all and then goes into it.
Yeah, and I mean like I've been accustomed to thinking that maybe 2 Chainz would be on the track by the fact that he's on a track on 4. But like still I was like, wait, huh? But yeah, and then of course that who really run this, who really run the man that say he run this, who really run and who really fund this.
That part's so satisfying to listen to.
It's so good. And then at the end of the verse, could it be the man behind the man behind the man behind the throne? Just like really great come around at the end there. Such a good song. We want to talk about. Let's talk about Love Again. How we feel about Sexy Run the Jewels.
Like it.
I like it. I could play this at work.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, you can't play Mastodon, but you can play.
Oh, I actually did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that was the joke. I was referencing it. My boss tells me the same thing. I'll play things, and she'll be like, you can't play that. You'll scare the customers."
Are you sure she says customers?
Huh?
It ain't the
What?
movie theater. It was funny at the movie theater. My one manager threatened to write me up because I called a customer,
Oh,
and
what?
he was like, "They're guests," and I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
Are they sleeping here? Like what?
Yeah, exactly. That was my thing. I'm like, "Are they sleeping here?"
At my job, we
Okay.
call them patrons.
Actually, you know, now that you say that, that is actually what we call them here at my work
Yep.
as well.
You ca-
Yeah.
That sounds kind of patron.
Patronize.
Like customer, at least. I don't know. That word, I don't know.
There is no negative connotation there. I don't understand.
No, I don't know. I guess it's weird because like Patreon,
Patron.
Patreon. I don't know. I'm off the rails there.
Okay, yeah, back to the
Why-
music.
why-
But yeah,
do you like sex?
I don't know what happened.
Wyatt, do you like Sexy Run the Jewels now?
Yeah, when it's
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say when this
Yeah.
is like and it's funny too because this one is actually kind of the equivalent of that track because
yeah.
it was called Twin Hype Back after like an old hip hop group, and this one's called Akinyele. I don't know how to pronounce that.
I can yell it back.
Yeah, and that was also another like hip hop group. So I think it's funny that naming convention over, but also this song isn't poo
Is
poo. This
way
is actually a really good song. And it's actually interesting too, like hearing their interviews, like listening to interviews with them about it, and like Mike kind of talking about how like a big part of this was like inspired by the misogyny that comes like when
Misogyny?
okay.
Wait. Run that by me
pronounce
one more
things-
time.
no misogyny.
Misogyny.
Is that a kind of wood?
Wait, what?
Misogyny. Misogyny.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm done for the night.
No,
Y'all,
keep going. Keep going.
Nah,
I'm sorry.
But I think like a big part of it's interesting about how like Mike kind of points out the double standard that like dudes rap about sex and no one bats an eye about it, but like you don't. He what was it here? Let me find the interview.
I've got it up.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly that. Like I just think it's kind of calling it out. And yeah, like Killer Mike says, women enjoy different sex, and I trust women to be empowered enough and smart enough to say, well, I like this for this reason, and I like validate me by giving me a silly out. Which I think that kind of cuts to the heart of it to a degree.
And that's why WAP is one of the best songs of last year.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like it's
Did you say WAP?
WAP.
WAP.
What?
What, you want me to say
Huh.
WAP?
Yes.
It's not
Whopper.
W-O-P.
No, but it's a
You're
long
OP.
A.
It says you.
They rhyme it with mop, don't they?
Shut
Yeah,
up.
bucket and a mop.
Oh,
But they rhyme pussy with mop.
Yeah, wait, what?
But it's the phrase.
They don't-
It's the whole
No,
thing.
it's bucket and a mop, and then she goes wop wop wop.
Yeah.
So they say wop in the song, Nathan.
WAP.
Wham.
You think Cardi B is going out here like whap?
Yeah.
It might
Okay.
just be WAP, honestly. Isn't it all uppercase?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
But they say WAP in the song.
but then they say in the censored version they say "wop, wet and cushy." Wait, what? Like,
Whack?
Gushy, isn't it?
Oh,
Whack.
gushy.
Why are we talking? This got really off track again.
Welcome
Does
to
this
prison.
normally
Moon.
happen?
Yeah, a little
Always.
bit.
I should
at
know
least,
this. I mean,
at least it's not Star Wars this time.
oh no.
Speaking of Star Wars,
Hey, no. Okay, let's talk about a different song.
Okay, yeah, but I like Love Again because it's not creepy and it's good.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
like
actually,
how.
it's
feature on
trying
it.
to make a point about double standards too.
Yeah, I really like
Yeah.
that droning beat as well, where it is really just like that whole time, but it feels like really engaging.
And that last hook from Gangsta Boo,
Yeah.
it's just great.
What about we've still got a few tracks left. What about Crown?
Yeah,
It's
Crown's
a good
great.
one.
It's kind of
Mellowed
one
out.
with like the
Kinda-
cool
yeah, it's
guitar
like-
sample.
That's kind of the one I think. Yeah, that's the one that I think on this album stands out the most to me because it's, in my opinion, the most unique one between them. Like, it's the one that really slows it down and just kind of like mellows out.
Yeah, that one's got like trip hop vibes too.
Yeah.
It sounds like
Just need
90s
Bjork to
Massive
come on
Attack or
here.
something.
Yeah, I really like that guitar sample. This is one of the tracks where I think like I might prefer LP's verse. The one where it's about war, the carried the flag in some other man's name, loaded my weapon, that kind of stuff, and that's just the whole verse. Yeah, it's good shit. Yeah, we've still got a few tracks. Do we want to? Okay. Let's talk
Okay.
about. I think we've got two more that I'd
What are
like
we
to talk
missing
about.
here?
I want to talk about All Due Respect and Early. Let's talk about All Due Respect first.
Drums.
Early's better though.
Yeah, that's why I'm saving it for last.
Okay.
But yeah, All Due Respect is pretty good.
Yeah.
Dirty banger alert.
Mm.
I mean, you look at that the first like 4 bars. Actually, no, the
Yeah,
first whole verse.
Yep.
Also, the I mentioned earlier on was it All Due Respect? All My Life. This is All Due Respect. What am I talking about? But where
All due respect.
where he goes the pow 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 pow. He does something similar here, but it's like ah ha ha. I don't know. The way he does like sound effects in like and mixes them into his bars is really funny. I like it a lot. Yeah, it goes hard. There's like the beat kind of sounds very like tribal and is like constantly changing. That vocal sample in the chorus is super cool. Love the chopped up vocals, and yeah, Travis Barker's drums are ridiculous. All right, let's talk about kind of the biggest track here for me, at least. What do y'all think about Early?
This is a standout for sure. Yeah, I like this one a lot. It's do it.
Sorry, you cut out on my end.
I said it has some. It's got some unique vibes to it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like a weird like high energy but reserved energy. You know, does
Yeah.
that make any sense? It's
I like
yeah,
the
it's kinda,
like the Pac-Man
okay.
sample right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And at the end, in the middle of the verse.
Yeah, in the
of
middle
LP's
when
verse.
it's like the Pac-Man dying sound.
Well, yeah, because it's the bar is shit, where is it? Any game where you die or where you can't pause. Yeah, in any game if the shit don't pause. But yeah, let's talk about this first verse, I guess. Um, it's rough, a little bit. Um,
Yeah, could it be that my medicine's the evidence for pigs to stop and frisk me when they're rolling around on patrol?
yeah, I mean, just like the storytelling here is,
Yeah, like they're using this fucking like medication as like an excuse to search him.
yeah, it's
It is like that sometimes.
and then just like how that story progresses throughout the verse, it's rough. Um, and I mean, especially given recent recent
Literally the
situations,
last month, and the last month before that, and
and
the
then
one
the one
before
before,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we always say that these are like relevant to today, but they're also relevant to then and like the
yeah,
past like
It scares me
hundreds of
that this
years.
came
Yeah,
out in 2014 and they're still rapping about it, and
it's
fuck all has
always
still
relevant,
changed. Like
unfortunately.
there
it's
is,
heartbreaking, and it's almost annoying in the fact that, like, guys, we're literally have music about this shit going on. How do you not realize, like, how have more people not realize that this is a problem?
and like it's fucked up that there's another track just like this on 4. Like,
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. That's what I was gonna say, but I wasn't sure because spoilers. But yeah, and they
I
have
already
one like
talked
it on.
about that on the album of the
There's
year
there's
podcast we did.
one. Well, and then you have DDFH on the first one.
Yeah.
There's which one is it? Don't get captured on the third one. We'll get into that one next. But like, yeah, it's scary to see how they've consistently talked about police brutality on pretty much like on every album they've put out.
And it
Um,
always
how
feels relevant.
every single one feels relevant to literally any day you turn on the news. Like,
Yeah.
Run the Jewels is the most tragically timeless artistic movement.
no, and that's exactly it. And
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing for me with Rage Against the Machine, where I like listen to it. I'm like, this came out in the 90s, and like,
It
still
literally came
still
out in
relevant.
1992. Like,
I'm like, this music and this subject matter has been around my entire life, and I've still yet to see a change from it.
yeah.
I think that's the kind of what like drives me nuts, but also why I like this music is it's almost cathartic to hear about it and feel it in that communal sense that music provides, and
Yeah.
know that there are people like you who are pissed off about it and who want to see change and who are like actively fighting against
And
it.
that's kind of what the second verse is about. Like LP's verse, it feels a lot like it's just like about not being able to control your situation and like seeing all this shit going on around you and not being able to do anything about it. I mean, especially that the end of that verse. But yeah, there's it. I want to live in a world where Run the Jewels sounds dated. Honestly. Like I want to live in a world where listening to Run the Jewels I can stop thinking, wow, this is still relevant.
Yeah, likewise.
Um but yeah, and
You,
then
you
the
might be waiting for a while,
yeah. Yeah.
sadly.
um yeah, it's rough. I think I don't have any other songs I wanted to talk about really.
I think we pretty much talked about every song, honestly, at this point.
Close to it. Do we want to get to final thoughts and favorite songs and rating?
Now let's do it.
All right.
Do it.
Wyatt, stop
Yeah.
thinking.
All right. Yeah. Final thoughts. This is follow up to a incredible debut, and I am looking extremely forward to seeing how this year hip hop duo be progressing in the future. And by future, I mean the past, as in the albums that they've already put out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Really enjoying what we have seen so far. Really looking forward to what we will see later.
Hell yeah.
Want to do tracks and
Joel.
score? Or, okay.
After everyone's done final
Gotcha,
thoughts.
gotcha.
Joel.
Yeah, just it's funny is Run the Jewels one's already a really, in my opinion, and Run the Jewels 2 somehow improves on that, and yeah, makes an already good formula even better and refines it with better lyric craft, better production, better chemistry. It's everything you want in a sequel.
Hell yeah. Peter.
They really did turn it up to 11, huh?
Yeah. Is that the score you're gonna give it?
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna break any tricks today.
Oh no, your mic.
Hello.
Your mic is going bass boosty.
You sound like an old.
Hello.
Hello.
There you go. All
Yeah,
right, keep
I can
going.
Hello,
I can hear
yes?
them.
Yeah,
Okay.
keep going.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
What was the last thing you heard?
You're not gonna break any, and then you.
Oh, I'm not gonna break any metrics. Like I think 10 is still like the highest possible score here. But I'm glad we're listening in order if they keep getting better, because otherwise I would be, if I had heard this one first, maybe the first one would have been a bit um, so I'm hoping they keep perfecting their craft. Although I've heard this one is the fan favorite, so I don't know. We will see.
I suppose we will. I love this. This is. No spoilers for the end of the series. It's gonna be a tight tie between this one and another one for my favorite.
I know which one.
Yeah. This is really fucking good. I already knew it was really good because I'd heard it before, but like, this is awesome shit. And I am excited to continue listening to 3 because I've only heard it once and I don't remember anything off of it already.
Damn.
Yeah. Good shit. Wyatt, give
Good
me
shit.
5 favorite songs and a score.
All right, it's a tough one. I will say number 5.
5-1, huh?
Yeah, Peter.
You switch it up every week.
No, I switched it up 1 week.
Okay.
This is the second week, though.
All right, number 5, Lie, Cheat, Steal.
Only number 5,
Four.
damn.
Yeah, well, there's a lot
Damn.
of bangers on here.
It's true.
Number 4, Close Your Eyes and Count to Fuck.
Yeah.
Number 3, Early. Number 2, Blockbuster Night Part 1.
Mm.
And finally, number 1, Jeopardy.
Oh,
Huh.
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. That's going to be my
Interesting.
hot take, I think.
I think that might be your hot take.
Yeah.
That is a hot take.
Do you love it? Do you hate it?
What would you rate it?
I am going to once again
You're the
deliver
best, you're
Run
the
the
best.
Jewels with a strong 9.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah.
okay.
All
I was
right,
expecting
all
a
right,
10
all
there, not gonna lie.
No.
I thought you said it
Not
was
quite.
better than the first.
Um, it's improved upon, but I still don't think I.
Fair.
So it's maybe a stronger 9.
Fair.
All right,
That's my score.
Joel,
That is the score.
give me 5 songs
Cool.
and a rating, Joel.
Do I have to
Cool.
rank the songs, or can I just give 5?
Yes.
You
I
can
have
just
to
give
rank.
5. You can
No,
also
you
do
gotta,
it.
you gotta rank them.
You gotta rank them.
Peter's making me choose children.
Yeah, you can also do
Probably.
it from favorite down. We don't have to
I
follow
was gonna
Wyatt.
say, I know my favorite song on this track, favorite this album is "Close Your Eyes and Count to Fuck."
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Number 2 is "Early." 3, it's a hard one. Probably "Blockbuster Night Part 1." Oh, Cry, and then I really like "Love Again," and I really like "Lie, Cheat, Steal." I love all of them though. And I mean, it's been pretty obvious, I think, from the way I'm talking about it, that I'm giving this a 10. Like, I think this is just quintessential stuff here. Like, it's just pure, rabid, fed up, contemporary energy. This very well crafted album.
Hell yeah. That's gonna get a hell yeah from me.
Wait, what was number 5?
Is a
I don't
tie
think you could
between,
choose.
yeah, I was gonna say again and
Okay.
"Lie, Cheat, Steal."
Okay, fair. I guess you could do a tie if you want, if you have to.
The stuttering or like the cutting out is now spreading to other people. So we better wrap this
Oh
up.
shit. It's not just me?
No, it's not just Wyatt anymore.
Oh, I see. Okay, my number 1 is Light Cheat Steel, actually.
Yeah.
Number 2, The Crown, or Crown. The Crown.
The Crown.
Yes. The number 2 is Crown. 3 is Oh My
Oh my darling, don't cry. You cut out, but I know what you said.
4, Early. Am I cutting out?
Not anymore. Keep going.
Okay. And 5, Jeopardy.
Interesting. And
Yeah. And we have a late 9.
that is exactly what I expected you to say.
That obvious, huh?
Yeah, you do enough podcasts with you nerds, and you start to see patterns.
You start to see the patterns. Okay, fair.
I also saw you giving Black Parade a 6 from a mile away, so
True. I think you and
me and
you
Wyatt
and
both
Wyatt,
like predicted it in
yeah,
DMs.
you and Wyatt predicted it.
All right,
Still
my
can't believe that.
yeah, I know.
You should listen to the episode and you'll see why.
It's because Peter's wrong. That's why.
Now, everyone's valid for their wrong opinion.
Wait, did Peter just leave? Well, I don't know if Peter's ever gonna get to hear my 5.
That's sad. Oh no.
There we go.
Oh,
Okay,
good.
okay. Now you get to hear my 5. I was just about to start without you.
Are you done talking shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
I'll
my
start.
5. My favorite track is Early, and then Lie, Cheat, Steal, and then Close Your Eyes, Count to Fuck, and then Oh My Darling, Don't Cry, and All Due Respect.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm feeling a decent to a strong 9.
Oh.
Yeah,
Standard
good.
deviation.
Oh, this is
Again,
one of our
we did
highest
it
rated
again.
albums.
It's true. I think
Yeah,
this might
I
be
thought
like
Nathan,
second.
thought Nathan was gonna give this one a 10. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not that
I
easy
knew they
with
were
my
going to
tens.
because I always look at their radio music score before I listen
You
to the
bastard.
before we
You
record these.
bastard.
Isn't that cheating?
Yeah, it might be. It
They
might
they
be,
knew I was
but
gonna give Crack the Sky a 10 as well.
yeah. That's why I expect Nathan to do the same, so I always rate them after I reveal my score on the podcast.
You are not wrong. I absolutely have checked a couple times to see. But yeah, that's the end of this episode. The next episode, we're going back to metal.
Is oh, okay, never mind.
Oh,
Week.
yeah, it's a metal week. We're gonna
Right.
talk about the Meshuggah album. We're gonna go Gent, Catch 33. Wyatt, this is
Do
the
not
one.
go gentle into that good night.
Huh?
Huh?
Shut up. Wyatt,
Wyatt,
this
that
is
what?
this is the one that I said you would like because Doom.
Mm.
Yeah, and then the episode after that. So I assume Joel will not be showing up for that metal episode, but Joel, do you think you'll be showing up for Run the Jewels 3?
Yeah,
Wait.
probably.
We're just gonna skip Meow the Jewels.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got a Prince Paul remix.
Yeah, all the more reason to skip it.
All right. That's
Cheap
Wyatt.
Meow.
Do it.
That's a
You cut out.
It'll
You have
be
to
a
do it
bonus
again. You
episode.
cut out. You have to do it again.
that's a podcast.
I
That's a
heard it. It was
podcast.
there.
That's a podcast. That's a
Yeah.
podcast.
You got a few of them. One of those has got to be good.
Okay. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.